अस्सलाम वालेकुम। ये वर्कबुक 4 है, न्यू ऑक्सफोर्ड मॉडर्न इंग्लिश। आज हम इसका यूनिट 12 द वीपिंग प्रिंसेस पार्ट 1 सॉल्व करेंगे। एक्सरसाइज ए, मिस्टर जमील यूजिंग मिक्स्ड टेंसेस। ये एक स्टोरी दी गई है, इसमें मुख्तलिफ टेंसेस का इस्तेमाल है। आइए स्टोरी को पढ़ते हैं और फिर इसके बाद इसी से रिलेटेड कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं, उनके आंसर्स देंगे। One day, while Mr. Jamil was on his way home, he saw a tortoise crossing the road. He was driving quite fast and stopped only just in time. He sat in his car and waited patiently while the tortoise made its slow journey across the road. As he waited, Mr. Jamil heard the sound of a distant horn. He leapt out of his car, and while the tortoise continued across the road, Mr. Jamil began to wave his hands and leap about in the middle of the road. A bus was approaching rapidly. ये स्टोरी से रिलेटेड एक पिक्चर है, इसे भी आप देखें। The bus got closer and closer, and the noise of the horn got louder and louder, while Mr. Jamil leaped higher and higher. The bus screeched to a halt inches from Mr. Jamil's nose. What do you think you are doing? Yelled the driver. I didn't want you to crush the tortoise, replied Mr. Jamil. What tortoise? Asked the driver. Mr. Jamil looked round. There was nothing on the road. It must have disappeared while we were talking, mumbled Mr. Jamil, getting back into his car. अब इन क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स आप नोट करते जाएं। What happened while Mr. Jamil was on his way home? तो इसका आंसर है while Mr. Jamil was on his way home, he saw a tortoise crossing the road. Question number 2 है while the tortoise continued its journey, what did Mr. Jamil do? इसका आंसर आप नोट करें। Mr. Jamil sat in his car and waited patiently while the tortoise made his slow journey across the road. Question 3 है what did Mr. Jamil hear? He heard the sound of a distant horn. Question 4 है why was Mr. Jamil leaping about on the road? He was leaping about on the road because the bus was getting closer and closer and it might run over the tortoise. Question 5. What explanation did Mr. Jamil give to the driver? His explanation to the driver was that he did not want him to crush the tortoise, which must have moved out of the while they were talking. Exercise B, more opposites. Match the following adjectives in boxes below with their opposites. ये adjectives हैं, यानी इसम सिर्फ इनके opposites मैच करने हैं। Heavy, light, empty, full, tasty, tasteless, wavy, straight, tiny, huge, pretty, ugly, rude, polite, cloudy, clear, steady, shaky, early, late. और इन पेयर्स को आपने यहाँ पर लिखना है नीट करके। अब इसका क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 है ट्राई टू राइट द ऑपोजिट्स ऑफ दीज वर्ड्स। इनके ऑपोजिट्स लिखने हैं स्वीट, sour, bitter, sharp, evil, good, pure, glad, sad, foolish, wise, sensible, clever, mature, immature, childish, deep, shallow, awake, asleep, kind, unkind, cruel, active, lazy, inactive, rough, smooth, tender, expensive, cheap, tender, hard, tough. नेक्स्ट वीडियो में द वीपिंग प्रिंसेस पार्ट 2 को सॉल्व करेंगे, यानी यूनिट 13 को। प्लीज़ जाने से पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें, लाइक के बटन को भी प्रेस कर दिया करें और वीडियोस को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर करें। थैंक यू। अल्लाह हाफिज़।